The Star Child. By Wilde. Once upon a time 2 poor woodcutters were making their way home through a great pine forest. It was winter, and very cold. There was thick snow the ground and on the trees. The river was frozen. The snow was very deep, and the woodcutters went slowly. They were careful, because it is easy to lose your way in the snow. At last they saw the lights of their village far down below them. They laughed because they were overjoyed. Yet, after that they had laughed they became sad, for they remembered their poverty, and one of them said to the other, "Why did we make merry, seeing that life is for the rich, and not for the poor? Better that we had died of cold in the forest, or that some wild beast had slain us." "Truly," answered his companion, "much is given to some, and little is given to others." At that moment a strange thing happened. A very bright and beautiful star fell out of the sky. It seemed to fall behind some trees quite near them. They ran towards it. "Perhaps there will be a crock of gold where it fell," they cried, and they ran. They were so eager for the gold. The first woodcutter reached the place. He saw a coat of gold lying on the white snow. It had silver star on it. The woodcutters opened the coat to take the pieces of gold from it. But there was no gold. There was only a little child. One of the men said, "This is a sad ending to our hopes. We do not need a child. We are poor men and we already have children. We cannot give their food to another child. Let's leave it here." The other man said, "We cannot leave the child here. It will die in the cold. I am as poor as you are. I have many children to feed and not much food for them. But I will take the child home with me. My wife will look after it." So very tenderly he took up the child. He put the coat round it to keep out the cold. Then he went down the hill to his village. When they came to the village, his friend said, "You have the child, give me the coat." But the other man answered, "That coat is neither mine nor yours. It belongs to the child." Then he went to his house. His wife opened the door and kissed him. He said, "I have found something in the forest and I have brought it to you. I know that you will look after it." "What is it?" she asked. "Show it to me, for the house is bare, and we have need of many things." He opened the coat and showed her the sleeping child. "Oh, we have enough children. Why have you brought this strange child to live here?" she murmured. "It is a star child," he said, and he told her about it. But she would not be appeased, and spoke angrily, and cried, "Our children haven't enough bread. Must we feed another person's child?" And the man didn't answer but stood on the threshold. A cold wind from the forest came through the open door. "Shut the door," she said. "The wind is cold." He said, "A cold wind always comes into a house where the heart is cold." She did not answer, but went nearer to the fire. Soon she turned round and looked at him, and her eyes were full of tears. He put the child in her arms. She kissed it and put it in a little bed with her youngest child. The next day, the woodcutter took the golden coat and placed it in a great chest. The star child grew up with the woodcutter's children. He sat at the table for meals with them and played with them. Every year he became more and more beautiful. Yet his beauty worked him evil. For he grew proud, and cruel, and selfish. He thought that he was better than the village children. "They are ordinary people," he thought, "but I am the child of a star. They are my servants. He threw stones at the poor and at people who asked for help. Go to another place and ask for bread. We have none to give you. He laughed at people who were weak and ugly. He loved himself. In summer, he sat by the water and smiled down at his beautiful face. The woodcutter and his wife often chide him, and say, "We looked after you when you needed our help. Why are you so unkind to people who need your help?" The star child gave no heed to them. He went back to the other children. He could run fast, and dance, and make music. The other children followed the star child. When he pushed a stick into the eyes of a little rabbit, they laughed. When he threw stones at a sick man, they laughed. Their hearts became as hard as his,